All right. Good morning. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Tour Tuesday. We're super excited to be joined this morning by our friends from RAMP. After a short introduction video, we'll hear from Katie, Jessica, and Jana, who will tell us about the important work that they do in the DeKalb community and how their partnership with the United Way helps further their mission. So we'll get our video going. Okay. So hi, everyone. Thank you again for joining us today. Let's start with introductions. If you guys want to just go around and introduce yourself and your title. Katie, if you want to get started.
Hi, I'm Katie Lee. I am the manager of RAMP's DeKalb County office.
My name is Jessica. I am the DeKalb County lead independent living advocate and the traumatic brain injury case manager for DeKalb County.
And my name is Jana Mueller. I'm a fast track specialist in DeKalb, Winnebago, Boone, and Stevenson counties.
Awesome, awesome. So I think to get started, we're just going to hear kind of an overview of the services that RAMP provides. And I think Katie is going to share that with us.
Yeah, so RAMP is our local Center for Independent Living. Centers for Independent Living exist all over the country, but RAMP serves DeKalb County, Winnebago County, Boone County, and Stevenson County. And we're really here to encourage individuals with disabilities to reach their full potential. And we offer a lot of different services, more than we can squeeze into this presentation. And I know Jana and Jessica are going to take time in a little bit to talk about the programs they work in, but we have a very wide range of individuals we serve. There's no age limit, all disabilities. That includes mental health. A lot of people hear our name RAMP and picture a ramp, but we serve people with invisible disabilities. We serve people with mental health diagnoses, anyone. So starting on the younger end of life, we work with parents who maybe have kids who need special education services or have special education services, and they want some help understanding their child's rights in school and knowing how to feel more comfortable advocating for their children. So we have a staff member who's not here on the call today, but she works out of DeKalb County, and her full-time job is to advocate for students and help parents with that process. We have Project Search, which is a transition program for students who are finishing their last year of high school or transition programming, who want to develop job skills. We partner with DeKalb High School, Kishwaukee Hospital, and the Department of Rehab Services to work with 12 students a year from all the different schools in our county. And they get to go spend their last year at the hospital doing different internships and becoming ready for adult life. And then when that program ends, our staff continue to work with them and help them find jobs in the community. We have Fast Track, which Jana will touch on in a moment. We also have programs for people who are in nursing homes and maybe don't need to be there, but are kind of stuck. And we have staff who help them move out and get back to community living. And we have employment programs to help individuals with disabilities find jobs, whether that be just a part-time job or they want to work themselves off Social Security. We are a ticket to work provider, so we're able to work with people who are on Social Security. We also offer independent living skills training, which Jessica will talk about. And then we have a PA program where we help people who maybe need assistance in their home and want to find someone who can come, help them with those activities of daily living. We keep a list of people who are looking to do that kind of work. So we get a lot of calls from individuals who want to find a PA and don't know anybody. They'll contact us and we'll kind of help them go through that list and find someone who's a good fit for them and learn how to interview and fill out all the paperwork and all of that. So in our DeKalb County office, we also offer amplified phones. It's an Illinois program where all Illinois residents, if they are having trouble hearing on their phone, they can come to the RAMP office. They can test out landline phones, cell phones, both, and they can choose the one that they feel they can hear well on, and then we put in an order and they get it in 2 weeks for free. So RAMP in general offers just a lot of different services, but the intention of all of them is to help people be part of their communities and know how to advocate for themselves and build an inclusive community, really.
I have just a quick question. So it sounds like the services offered at RAMP align with all of our impact areas of education, health, and financial stability. But which impact area would you say that RAMP most aligns with?
So I've thought about that leading up to this, because I know you had mentioned that might be a question, and it was really hard for me to decide because, like Jessica will talk about and Gianna, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Like Jessica will talk about and Gianna will talk about, in both of their programs, we work with young adults and adults on how to budget their money, of what, how to figure out what they can afford. So that's a common thing we work with people on. We also work with people on improving their health and access to health insurance and doctors and counselors and all of that. But we also focus a lot on education.
Right.
So it's hard to say. It depends on what program you're talking about, but that's what's, I think, really great about RAMP is we look at like the whole thing. We look at the whole picture. We focus on whatever someone needs to feel empowered and in control of their life and to be able to be independent.
That's awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for that, Katie. I appreciate it. I'm not sure if you were finished. Are you finished?
Yeah,
Okay.
I could go on and on, but that's the gist of it.
Okay.
I wanted to give Gianna and Jessica both a chance just to kind of give a little detail about the specific programs they work in. So I don't know, Gianna, you can start.
Sure. Yeah. So Fast Track is a pre-employment transition program for students with disabilities. We serve individuals from the ages of 14 through 21, and we go through 5 core services. We talk about self-advocacy, so anything from learning about their disability, learning about their IEP, 504, how to stand up for themselves, how to ask for accommodations, job exploration, so learning about different jobs that are available to them and what their interests are. Workplace readiness, which is anything from building resumes, cover letters, like Katie said, learning how to budget money or other independent living skills. We do interviewing practice, post-secondary education counseling, so any type of schooling after high school, whether that be they want to get a certificate or go into the trades or four-year college or university. We talk about any type of schooling after high school. And then work-based learning, which generally pre-COVID was in the community job shadow. Hopefully that will be able to happen again soon. But during the pandemic, students have been connecting with professionals in their fields of interest over the phone or Zoom. They do mock interviews with other RAMP staff, or they watch virtual job shadows online. Students can participate in Fast Track once a year until they graduate high school or age out of the program. And the thing that I love about Fast Track is that we have a curriculum, but it really is tailored to the student's interests and their learning level. So like, let's say you have a student who's 14, they're probably going to want to work on practice job applications. But if the student is 18 or 19, they might want to actually apply for a job, and we can work with them on those job applications and practicing for real interviews. So it is very flexible to what the student wants and needs, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's Fast Track. Oh, I think you're muted.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I'm sorry, I may have missed it because my phone was ringing, but how can students get involved with Fast Track? Does it have to be like a referral into the program?
So it can really be any way. It can be a referral, or they can just call our front office and say they are interested in Fast Track, and then at the moment they would be transferred to me, and we would get paperwork started if they're interested in the program. So it really can be any way.
Okay, awesome.
And real quick, I'll share our DeKalb office phone number is 815-756-3202.
Awesome. Thank you. And then Jessica, you can hop on whenever you're ready.
All right. Hi. So I am the independent living advocate for DeKalb County. So I work with all adults on a variety of goals that they set for themselves. It's hard to fit it into to summarize everything, but I've done everything from helping people apply for Medicaid, figuring out Medicaid issues, helping them understand spend downs. I help people apply for Social Security, go through the whole application process with them. I've helped people apply for the DeKalb Housing Authority. So starting with the initial application, and then once they've been pulled from the list, going through all of that paperwork with them. I help people apply for home services. So if they need a personal assistant to come in and help them with activities of daily living so they can remain living independently in their home, I help with that whole process as well. And if they are approved, then I can help them hire a PA of their choice. Like Katie had mentioned, we keep that master list of PAs, and I do the orientation. And so we make sure our consumer knows that they get to choose who they want to hire. You know, we're not forcing a person on them. We're not a homemaker agency where we just pair them with somebody. This is completely their choice. I help, like Katie had also mentioned, I help younger adults. Mostly we learn how to budget money management. Young kids want to move out. They don't want to live with mom and dad forever. So helping them prepare so they can be successful when they move out. So there's really no major hiccups. We look at leases for them to fully understand what's in a lease, look at bills. And again, I'm not telling them how to spend their money. I'm not perfect with my money either. I like to go to Target and, go shopping, but just having them understand, paying those bills first and then Target. So gosh, there's so much that we do. I mean, the consumer will come in and we will, we'll learn more about them, and then they set the goals that they want to work on. I'm not setting goals for them. I'm not telling them how long it's going to be to accomplish them. Some people, one person I'm working on money management with, they may have it down pat in 6 weeks. Someone else, it may take 6 months. So it is completely tailored to each individual, which I feel a lot of our services are tailored to each individual. It's not a one size fits all. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the highlights of what I do. Again, I still work on self-advocacy. A 65-year-old still may need to learn how to self-advocate for themselves. Maybe they've lived at home with parents their whole life and they don't know how to navigate the world on their own. We help with that. So sorry, I'm losing my voice. But yeah, so those are pretty much the major areas. I'm sure I've missed something, but again, with each person that I work with, I'm doing something different with almost everybody. So
yeah, our services are totally consumer driven, like Jessica and Jana have mentioned. The consumer comes in and they tell us what they want to work on.
Okay.
What one person may need to feel more independent and in control of their lives is usually totally different than another person, depending on where people are at. And it's our services are very person-centered. So each time we open a new consumer, we go through a person-centered planning with them and just learn more about them. Sometimes identifying needs that they didn't realize we could help with. Some people have an idea in their mind of what RAMP does, and then when they come in and meet with us and we go through that assessment, they may say that they don't have health insurance or that they have a medication they're supposed to take that's really expensive or something like that. And that's when we're able to say hey, you want to set that as a goal? That's something we can assist you with. So it is hard for Jessica to describe her job. I was an independent living advocate too when I first started at RAMP, and it's dependent on each person, but we're really there to give them the level of support they desire from us and encourage them through their goals.
One thing I did forget to mention that I really enjoy doing, well, I enjoy all of it, but helping people find funding for ramps for their home. If they don't qualify for home services, where home services can pay for that ramp, then it's my mission to try and find that funding for them. So I really like that challenge. I've been pretty darn successful with getting what they need. So I really like hunting down different funding options for people. So I'm never going to tell someone, sorry about you, I can't help. I will, if we can't help, we will refer them to an agency or an organization that can assist. So we don't ever just tell people we can't help them. We make sure, even if they move out of one of our service areas, we will help get them in contact with their local Center for Independent Living if they want that. So we want the best for everybody, and we'll never just leave somebody out to dry. We will serve them the best we can.
That's definitely good to know. So I have two questions. The first, I know you mentioned that you make it your mission to help find funding for them for ramps if it's not something that that's easy to find. Do you guys utilize 211 at all? Do you refer clients to 211 for resources at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a great service, and I love the online portion of it too. I know because I've been a part of Networking for Families, and you've done some presentations on it. So it's really nice that they can go to the website and we can text that information to them through the website or email it to them.
Right.
So yes, we do utilize 211 if needed.
Awesome. Glad to hear that. And then my other question was so I know that you guys do like an assessment and an intake. Is that protocol for everyone? If someone just gives you a call, like I really just I want to know how I can apply for Medicaid. Do you open up a case per se for that person, or
No.
is it? Okay.
Yeah. So we're here to help as much as someone wants us to, or as little as someone wants us to.
Okay.
So we have two kinds of consumers. Our clients, we call them consumers at RAM. We have two kinds. We have intake consumers. Those are people who really want our support throughout a goal. Want that connection more. But we also have a lot of what we call casual consumers, and that anyone can call. And if, like you said, Sheridan, if they're just like, I want to know the website I go to, we would, be happy to just email that to them, or, give them some guidance. But if they're like, I've got this, I really don't need your help, we can still provide them with information. We don't require people to open an intake record with us to get our support.
That's awesome. That's really good to know too.
Mhm.
Awesome. Wow. My other question for you guys is: are there any goals or community initiatives that you guys have for this year? And if so, what are they, and how can the community help and United Way help you to meet those?
Well, we currently, right now, actually, are in our strategic planning process. So we have identified some areas that we want to work on within RAMP and in our communities. So that information should be coming soon. But I think it's always a priority of ours to advocate for inclusion, and in whether that be in the education system, within the workplace, within all aspects of the community. So the way the community can help us with that is, obviously, if you own a business or you're an employer and you're interested in hiring someone with a disability, because statistically individuals with disabilities make really great employees. So if that's an interest of yours, get in touch with us, because we can connect you with our employment staff, and know that you're an option for people who are coming in looking for jobs. We have a curriculum that we teach at DeKalb High School. It's called TNT, and Jessica actually teaches that. She's always looking for community partners. So any professionals in the community who want to come in and talk to the students about housing or interviewing for jobs or any of those kind of adult living things, we would love to talk with them if someone has an interest in doing that. The same for Jana's program. If someone is willing to be a place that a student who's in fast track can come do a job shadow or talk and learn about what they do, we would love to know who those people are, so that Jana knows if she gets a student who really wants to own a restaurant one day, that there's maybe a restaurant owner who she can link them up with and kind of learn about the cool stuff and the not so cool stuff. So definitely opportunities also for people with disabilities in our community who want to be a source of peer support. We like linking our consumers up with people who maybe have been there and done that and can mentor and talk someone through maybe a change they're having in their life, or maybe a newly acquired disability. So we always are looking at for people who have maybe come out on the other side of a difficult situation, or something that maybe could be a struggle for someone, that we can, if we have a consumer who wants that connection, we can make that connection. So those are definitely ways that people in the community can get in touch with RAMP to support us and to support our programs.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And then my last question is, I know that RAMP has been a partner of the United Way for quite some time. I guess, why do you think your partnership with the United Way is important? Why do you value that partnership?
Well, I think that RAMP and the United Way have a lot of shared values. We value quality of life. We value a strong and inclusive community. And we also value diversity. And we know those are things that the United Way stands for and advocates for, and we love the opportunity to be a partner organization. I think we fall so well within what United Way's mission is that it's a really good partnership.
Agreed. I definitely agree with that. As well. Well, I appreciate you guys joining us this morning. Is there anything else that you guys would like to share before we log off?
There is one more thing. We have more information coming very soon as far as registration and that sort of thing, marketing materials. But we have an event coming up on October 21st. It is going to be at the Egyptian Theater, and it is going to be a full day workshop on trauma-informed approaches and building resiliency. We're going to have Raul Almazar, who is a trauma-informed approaches professional. He's going to be our keynote speaker. We're going to have lunch catered by the Hillside and a film screening of a documentary called Resilience about trauma, generational trauma, trauma within the education system, and kind of new approaches that different communities are using to address that successfully. And then in the afternoon, we're going to have a final speaker. Her name is Xavier Whitford, and she is the executive director of the Tommy Corral Foundation. She's going to talk about building resiliency and growing through painful experiences. So it's going to be a full day workshop from like 9 to 3:30. We're really excited about it. And anyone who is hearing me right now that is interested in attending that, please feel free to call us at 815-756-3202, or they can email me at klee@rampcil.org. And I will make sure to share registration website. It should be ready very soon. So
awesome. That sounds really good. I'll definitely get that on the calendar because it sounds like something that I would want to attend.
yeah.
Well, I thank you guys so much for joining us and sharing about the services provided at RAMP. And I'll be sure to add some of your contact information once I save and post the video. And it'll also be in our YouTube page so that folks can go back and check it out. You guys have a good morning.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.